West Point graduate, former Army Ranger, and FBI agent, Chad Jenkins. Chad, it's good to have you back on our forum.
Thanks a lot, JD. Appreciate being here.
Well, you have background with both the FBI and the military. We're hearing that elements of both of those organizations are at work here. A Pentagon spokesman saying that fewer than 10 troops are being sent to help in Nigeria. To be fair, we have probably about 70 military personnel on the ground there. But I'm just wondering, Chad, why the announcement? If the U.S. was going to take action, wouldn't there be silence or what we call strategic ambiguity at work here?
Well, JD, like you said, we have a military infrastructure in place dating back to 2012. We actually had military advisors there due to Boko Haram going ahead and being such a dynamic terrorist organization. I mean, they started in 2002. And talking about Boko Haram real quick, you know, they're the Western education is sinful. That's the meaning behind Boko Haram. And since 2002, they've killed over estimated 10,000 people. So, and they attack primarily churches, schools, and government buildings. So, and we actually didn't designate, the State Department did not designate them a terrorist organization until December of 2013. However, back in 2012, we did have military advisors. I think we're just plussing it up. But I think getting back to your question, we're making this big push and announcement, I think, because of the social media outrage over these abducted girls.
So basically it's lip service here, Chad. What we're seeing in the effort, maybe more than lip service, they're sending these people over there, but it's really just to let the folks know that there's something happening here. But you know, you saw the video there of Boko Haram's leader, and he's been, you know, talking about claiming responsibility for this. And you know, it would seem as if, as we've seen in other countries, that the United States could fly a drone into Nigeria, maybe take this guy out, maybe take out some of his lieutenants. But as we also know, a lot of countries don't like U.S. drones flying over their countries. So is that the case with Nigeria? Do we have to take a limited approach here in how we handle this?
The reason I don't think we've gone so aggressive on Boko Haram is because Boko Haram has never been an actual threat to U.S. interests. You know, think about Abdul Muttalib, the 2009 underwear bomber on Christmas Day, Nigerian citizen. Yet he was affiliated with Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, and all of his training came from Yemen. So Boko Haram really hasn't done anything to attack U.S. interests, and I think that's why we haven't gotten as involved as we could have.
Okay. Now, you take a look at the Nigerian government, and pre-9/11, 2001, I can remember going through airports saying the State Department says be very careful, and they would list different cities including Lagos, Nigeria, which is interesting because we know there are oil resources in Nigeria. This has been the site of such strife for really a half century. The Biafran War in the late 1960s with the breakaway section of Nigeria. Now we're hearing from the president with an interesting name, Goodluck Jonathan. He's saying it's the governors in the northeastern states of Nigeria that really have not handled the Islamic uprising and the uptick in terrorism. And you can see the geography here on the screen of who controls what in that country. Now, granted, there's no shooting civil war, but devoid of traditional geopolitical divisions, right now you've got tribal strife, you've got religious strife. Give us your take on Nigeria. Can we expect that country to mount its own effort against Boko Haram?
I think they've shown, you know, a propensity not to be able to do that, dating back to the 2002 and the insurgents of Boko Haram. Yes, there are many variables that play into Nigeria. However, I think that the radical Islam of Boko Haram is the pivotal end-all be-all of why you're seeing such a dynamic situation. April 14th, you know, they also conducted the bombing down in the capital of Nigeria, and then audaciously conducted this attack. Now, Boko Haram might have bit off a little bit more than they can chew right now. This was an audacious attack on girls, 15 to 18. And I tell you what, it's got the whole entire world talking about this right now. And you know what? He wanted eyes on himself, and he was wanting to spread the caliphate. Well, he might have something else spreading to him, and that's going to be, you know, boots on the ground from some entity, because at some time we got to say enough is enough. you know.
I don't want to do this guy any favors by equating him to Osama bin Laden and what he was able to accomplish, not for good, obviously. Obviously, he has maybe delusions of grandeur here. Isn't this what he wants, though? Doesn't he want to drag the United States into Nigeria and take them on?
Well, I mean, their whole entire goal is to restore the Islamic Caliphate. And if you look, though, Boko Haram, they're doing a great job of it, but guess who else is doing a great job? Just to the northwest, Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. Just to the east in Somalia, you got Al-Shabaab across the strait there. Then you have Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. Their entire goal is to reestablish the Islamic Caliphate going back to the days of Muhammad. And that is their end-all be-all goal, and it's to convert everybody else either by sword or by your own submission to their God. And that's their goal. Now, I gotta bring this in because it's so awesome to see. It's so interesting. Daniel chapter 7 verse 25 says, at the end of times there will be a kingdom that comes like no other kingdom before, that tries to change the set times and tries to change the set laws. All of these Islamic extremist organizations, the year is 1392, and guess what? They're all trying to implement Sharia law.
Now, is this a direct result? I mean, you say what you will about Muammar Gaddafi, say what you will about what happened in Egypt. We've seen a complete lack of stability in those countries that were dictatorships, yes, but at least stable. And now we have the aftermath of the so-called Arab Spring. This can be directly tied to that, Chad?
Oh, yes. I think they just continue to get invigorated by all of these things. You see all the way North Africa, all the way from the very far west to the east, to Egypt right now. All of that is complete turmoil, and it's in their benefit. I mean, they're executing their game plan very strategically and very effectively.
And while the focus understandably is now on the schoolgirls being abducted, we should point out that Boko Haram has persecuted Christians, gone in, engaged in massacres there. We just had website information attacking some of the Nigerian villages where the girls and others were expected to be. A couple of minutes remaining. I made mention of FBI teams being sent. Secretary Kerry is saying from his State Department vantage, the U.S. will do everything possible. FBI investigative teams going in there. Is that a very dangerous situation, putting them into Nigeria?
Well, it is a small team, JD, and the guys who are going in most likely come from the hostage rescue team, which obviously this is a hostage rescue mission, and they're the best in the world at doing it. The FBI's hostage rescue team would be more than incapable of, helping them in an advisory role to conduct that. And then the FBI fly team, who are specialized in, the events that take place, as long as an intelligence element. So, yeah, it's dangerous, but these guys are completely capable of being an asset to the Nigerian government and to their military infrastructure.
And they can be an asset, but at the end of the day, you have the question, will Good Luck Jonathan really avail themselves? British Special Forces, likewise involved in this situation. Would we take a backseat to the Brits, conceivably, and let them lead on a mission like this?
I think it's a viable option. I think it's a team. I think at this point you're seeing an interagency and then an national call to help this, because at the end of the day, we cannot allow 276 girls to be kidnapped. And unfortunately, we want to keep on saying, oh, they might be sold and they might be into slavery. We're talking sexually abused right now, and it's most likely going on. And that's what's happening. That's so disheartening.
We got to get them home.
It is very disturbing. Chad, as always, we appreciate your insights and your analysis, and we want your comments on this entire topic. Boko Haram and the abduction of these schoolgirls. What should take place? Should the U.S. go in or stay out? Why don't you tweet us your comments at Newsmax TV, # America's Forum. There's also email and Facebook. Coming back with a great book next.